the live music capital of the world. That's a pretty big deal.
Austin, Texas.
We like to say that we're lots of music going on here. Not to mention that we're also known as a dog town because we do love dogs in this town, probably as much as we love children. Over 300 businesses will allow you to bring your dogs indoors.
Woo, woo.
No questions asked. Some places around here will require that your children have dog ears on when they come in, so just be careful. They are going to ask for that. We're going to do a little thing called a drive-by quack. You see this big guy right here on the left-hand side? We're going to give them a quack and wave. At the count of three, I want everybody to wave and quack. Are you ready to do it 3 times? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He says, right up here. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Lots and lots of friendly people in this town. Every walk of life, all over the place. They all come here and they enjoy hanging out here in Austin, Texas. I wish you a very, very Merry pre-Christmas. We're on what, 2 days away, and it's going to be here upon us. So make sure you get all your Christmas shopping done and everything in line, including making up with your family members so that you can have a nice holiday together without any fist fights breaking out. We're going to turn left here on 6th Street. As we turn on 6th Street, you should know that this is a very old city, but we built this city on rock and roll, my friends. That's right. 1839 is when we became Austin, Texas. We were formerly known as Waterloo. That means waterway. That name was given to us by the Native Americans that lived here at the time. And we have now become Austin, Texas, after the founder of our city, Stephen F. Austin. Now, as you travel through, you're probably looking at the buildings and going, man, this is an old town. Well, it is old, 1839. But we have not changed the building since then. Well, a few of these buildings still are old, but they have some newer businesses. How about the Cheers bar, just like Boston right there? Boston, well, everybody knows your name. Well, everybody knew Jen and Barbara Bush's name, and that's why they got busted for underage drinking in that bar right there. Right next door, the Museum of the Weird. Well, speaking of weird, Johnny Depp himself was living in that apartment upstairs. He was doing a movie called What's Eating Gilbert Grape. If you remember that movie, it actually introduced Leo DiCaprio climbing a water tower in the movie, and yes, that's about 9 miles away from here, a little town called Maynard, Texas. Can we give him a quack and away to this guy right here? He's telling you to come on into the Museum of the Weird. Ready? 1, 2, 3, hit him and wave. How about a quack and away for the family right here, doing a little walk through town? Ready? 1, 2, 3, quack and wave at him. Yes, bringing smiles and joy. You are the ambassadors of goodwill. Now, folks, we're going to kind of go through town here. Let me find out. We've got our Los Angeles people. Is anybody else visiting from out of the state? All right, way in the back. Where are you from? Yell it out. Colorado, yes. Thank you for Coors Beer. We appreciate it so much. Anybody else out of the state? Way in the back.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia. Go Braves. We're glad you all are here too. So glad to have you. Now in Atlanta, I think they say the same thing we say here. Do they say y'all and all y'all?
Yeah.
That's a thing in Texas. If I just speak to these 2 gentlemen right here behind me, it's y'all. If I address the entire bus, it's all y'all. That's actually grammatically correct to say. The only thing that if anybody says to you, you have the right to get into a fight is if they say, bless your heart. All right, if somebody says that to you, they're saying you're a big dummy, all right? So just be careful with that. All right, continue to go. Now, I want everybody to look way up on the left-hand side, and we're going to go to Houston for this one. Can anybody tell me what the mascot of Rice University is in Houston? Owl, right. So take a look at this tall, pointy building, y'all. If you're on this side, come on over. The cheap seats over here. There is a big, tall, pointy building. When I get up here near the intersection, look for 2 circles at the top of that building. Those 2 circles, when we get into the intersection, represent the eyes of an owl. I don't know if you can see them on an angle, but the 2 circles that look like clocks are the eyes. In between where the windows come together and a point is the beak of the owl, and at the very top is the tuft or the feathers on top of the head. I'll look at it one more time. If you're on this side, come on over. You can stand up. We're moving really slow. One more time. Take a look. Follow up the corner. The 2 circles that look like clocks, those are the eyes of an owl. In between is the beak of the owl. At the very top, those pointy things are the tuft or the feathers on the top of the owl's head. Why an owl in Longhorn territory? Because the gentleman that built that false bank was not allowed entry into UT. That was his final revenge against us right there before he left town. Right hand side, your kids will seek revenge after you give them some Voodoo Donuts, because they will be hopped up on sugar, my friends. Voodoo Donuts come from Portland. Now, we are actually a little bit upset because Portland stole our saying keep Austin weird, so we didn't stole their donuts. In Portland, you got to stay in line for about an hour and a half for those donuts. Here, 2 minutes because nobody likes them here. Right-hand side, B.D. Riley's Irish Pub. I play there on Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and on Mondays, unfortunately, they are closed, but they'll be back open again. This is an authentic Irish bar all the way from Ireland, including the doors, the windows, the furniture inside, even the food inside. They've got Irish whiskey, Irish beer. In fact, I wish I was in there right now having a drink. It's a great place to hang out if you get a chance. Oh yeah, by the way, the guy that built it, J.W. Hannick, was the richest man in town, and he's a dude who married a young lady back there who ran Rapolo's, the pizza place back there. She was the only female adult survivor from the Alamo, and her name was Susanna Dickinson. Right here on the right-hand side, the Driscoll Hotel. It's absolutely gorgeous. The Driscoll Hotel was built in 1886 by Colonel Jesse Driscoll. You can see how massive and beautiful it is. Now, a room there for each night at the very cheapest for a single bed is going to be $375 per night. Anything above that, if you want a bathroom, a shower, or a second bed, it's going to be upwards in the $600 range. But it was built by Colonel Jesse Driscoll in 1886. He unfortunately lost it in a very bad winter, very bad drought. Because of that, they say that his ghost comes back and haunts it each and every night. So it is a haunted hotel. Oh, by the way, many of these buildings in this town are haunted. We have a very, very haunted vibe here, Dawson, Texas. So not only are we the live music capital of the world, we're also the haunted capital of the world. Oh, right inside, there are people having a little bit of coffee inside this building. It's called the Capital One Cafe. It's a bank. But if those on this side want to look up there, it was actually at one point the biggest building we had in this town. I know you're not impressed. 7 stories, that was all we had at the time. But the guy across the street wanted a bigger building. So his was 7. How big do you think the Black and Tan guy built his? How about 8? Right there, Scarborough, bigger building. This guy came back 2 more stories, 9, end of game, until along came way down the street. The thing that looks like the world's biggest USB memory stick is 59 stories tall down there. And I'll tell you what, 59 stories is absolutely amazing. In fact, that's where Alicia Keys, Kanye West each have their own condos inside. Well, they don't live together, actually. Here on the left-hand side, this statue is actually known as Angelina Eberly. If you don't know about our history, remember, we built the city in 1839 as Austin, formerly known as Waterloo. But before that, well, 1836, we became the Republic of Texas. We were our own country. A guy by the name of Sam Houston came here, and he actually was going to take the records archives, but that lady right there that's commemorated by that statue fired a warning shot and sent them back empty-handed. Because her name is Angelina Eberly, we actually have a restaurant called Eberly's, and the Capitol is still here to this day. Right-hand side, Bob Schneider's New Year's Eve. I'll tell you what, Bob Schneider's the Bob Seger of Austin. The Paramount Theater, formerly known as the Majestic. It was, if you look above our white doors on the 2nd floor, it was our, that is absolutely a beautiful statue that was put in, and I'll tell you what, we definitely are proud of that statue. Come on back and give yourselves about 45 minutes to read all the important information. Not to mention, that Capitol right there was built in 6 years. That's a record for building capitals. How do we do it? It's called prison labor. That's how we did it, my friends. Oh yeah, by the way, this is 2.2 acres of lawn compared to Washington, D.C., which is 3.2 acres. So they do have us in the lawn department, but we have a bigger Capitol because of that beautiful statue up on top. Oh yeah, free tours every day. If you want to take a tour, come on in there. Come on in tomorrow. Christmas Eve, they should be open, and you can take a free tour of that beautiful Capitol each and every day. Now, we're going to move on. As we head over this way, ladies and gentlemen, we'll edge over. If you take a look on your left-hand side, you will see another giant white building. This one over here is called the Governor's Mansion. Now, of course, our governor lives in there. Everybody from the UK always says, "Hello, Governor." We just say, "What's up, Greg? How you doing, homie?" He's a local here. So anyway, Greg Abbott was really mad at our previous governor, Rick Perry, because somebody threw a Molotov cocktail in that building over here. We'll see it when we get in the shade. It's decorated for Christmas. It looks very nice. But anyway, about 10 years ago when Rick Perry was living there, somebody threw a Molotov cocktail and kind of blew the place up. Luckily, Rick and his hair and his wife and the furniture went in the building at the time, and they were able to get it back into its original shape. In fact, he just scraped it right down to the original wood, and there you go. Voila. That's pretty important because that is the oldest continuously lived in home in the entire country of Texas. But not only that, that's the third oldest continuously lived in governor's mansion across the USA. And did I mention that the guy that's living there right now, Greg Abbott, does rent it out in case you're not a fraternity or sorority. If you want to rent it for a private party, you can if the price is right.
Yeah?
All right. Now we're going to cross over, but one more thing to look at. Here at the back, this was called the livery back in the day. Now you're saying delivery? No, this ain't Amazon Prime, my friend. A livery. Does anybody know what you keep in a livery? Horses. Good answer, sir. Yeah, horses. This is where the stable was. They don't use it as a stable anymore. Now it is for Secret Service to keep everybody protected in there and make sure nobody else is trying to burn that place down. All right, we're crossing over to the dark side over here, Lavaca. Remember I said that all the streets going north and south are named after rivers in the order they appear, except for Congress. That's political, so that's an exception. We're going to make a left here onto Guadalupe. That would be the next river you'd cross as you head this way toward the hill country. And all I have to say about that is baby shark doo 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 doo, baby shark doo 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 doo. All right, let's move on. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of sharks, well, I had a shark of a lawyer back in the day. In fact, I did have to make my presence known in here for a little bit of a violation, but all has been cleared up, and I thank my probation officer for getting me time off to make it for the drive today. Anyway, this beautiful courthouse here, known as the Travis County Courthouse, is the third courthouse ever built. The first one was built over there near the Capitol, the second one in this location, but we demolished it and started over. This is the third one, the Heman Marion Sweat Courthouse. If it kind of looks like a pyramid, it's supposed to, and it was actually well, we call it post-depression. You look pretty young to know what a depression is, but post-depression architecture right there. By the way, a guy by the name of Heman Marion Sweat was actually won a court case to get into UT as the first Afro-American court. It was actually held with a very good lawyer. Thurgood Marshall came and got him in there. Right-hand side, Wooldridge Square, beautiful little square. It used to be a dump, folks, and I don't mean just trashy. I meant like there was actual trash. This is where people used to dump their trash until Mr. Wooldridge said, you know what, we got to clean this town up. So the whole community came, cleaned it up, and then they built that beautiful stage there. Now, ex-President Johnson did a little speech off of there, and they have concerts and all kinds of neat things happening there all the time. On Saturdays, they play chess there, but the chess pieces are underneath here. The tan part, where the parking garage is the body of the armadillo, and above it, the dark brown is the shell of the armadillo. Where would the eye be? Well, of course, it's right there. The trapezoid window is the eye of the armadillo, and the long windows are the teeth of the armadillo. From the side, it does look like an armadillo. We love armadillos. You know what other little fuzzy creatures we love in this town? How about bats? We love bats. Another mammal. In fact, that bridge over there is known as the Ann B. Richards Bridge. It's also known as the Congress Bridge, but most of all, it is known as the Bat Bridge. Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, what am I going to say? Quick, Robin, over there to the Bat Bridge. Let's get over there as quickly as possible.
Namaste.
Bam! Alright, so my all-time favorite Batman, I got to meet him right here, Adam West, rest in peace. He was on this bridge. He was a baby blue blazer wearing, black pants wearing type of guy. No mask, but I knew it was the original Batman himself. In fact, that Batman used to bring the Bat boat and the Batcopter here downtown to the Paramount Theater and have a Batman movie or two. Now, you can see lots of people gathering around here. Come 5:30 or so, there will actually be some bats coming out from the bridge. Now, this is the Bat Bridge. If you look on the left-hand side, you see the older gentleman over there kind of going in the middle of the bridge right there. Well, that is where the bats will all start coming out about 5:30 at sundown. Now, there are 1.5 million bats between March and October. And I mean each and every night, 1.5 million bats come out each night. Tonight, 150,000. Most of them have gone back to Mexico. They're Mexican free-tailed bats.
Lot of bats.
And I'll tell you what, the craziest thing about those bats is I don't know how they do it, but they eat 30,000 pounds of insects per night. Mosquitoes. Can you believe that, kids? The reason you don't have to get off or any kind of insecticide is because they eat all the mosquitoes on this side of town. Oh yeah, by the way, 150,000 coming out tonight. We'll probably eat more like about 3,000 or 4,000 pounds of mosquitoes tonight, but that's still pretty good. Now, we have a bat festival that happens at the end of August, September, but that's because they end up going back in October, for the most part, back to Mexico. They are Mexican free-tailed bats. You can come out and see them if you want. In fact, if you continue on that long street, it's known as SoCo, South Congress. There are lots and lots of restaurants over there, lots of cool places to hang out, a lot of eclectic shopping going on over there. Now, we're heading this way. Remember I said, the street's going north to south, Brazos. Oh, gun show at 7. Brazos means arms, but that's just another river running through the state of Texas. Oh, yeah, by the way, we're heading toward the water. Are you kids ready to head over to the lake? All right, that's what I thought you were here for. I didn't think it was here to see Santa or do a sleigh ride, so we're going to head over there, do a little bit of boat floating in a minute. But let's first take a look at some of the things we have here in town as we head over to the other side of town. The left-hand side, that actually has 4 different corners on your left-hand side because it's 4 different architects that built it. It's called the Neil Kasuric Convention Center. By the way, that convention center is where Drew Barrymore did a movie called Whip It about our resurging women's roller derby. Not only that, but there are all kinds of conventions there each and every week. If you like barbecue, we have them everywhere in this town. And in fact, you can't go any place without running into a barbecue place. This is the place where H.W. Bush and Barbara Bush, rest in peace, used to eat back in the day. In fact, I ran into Jason Sudeikis here about 2 months ago. If you don't know who Jason Sudeikis is, well, he's the guy that was on Saturday Night Live with Eddie Murphy this Saturday, all right, if you watched that. Oh, yeah, by the way, he's also the voice for the Angry Birds, in case he's the red one, in case y'all are wondering about that. Oh, and another thing, he's married to Olivia Wilde, and that's why I like him. Anyway, lots of stars go in there, but lots of famous people. You'll, of course, have pictures in there of Rick Perry, of H.W. Bush, all different kinds of people. On the right-hand side over there, behind that big old parking lot, is one of the coolest places to go at night. It's called Rainey Street, R-A-I-N-E-Y. What they did was they took a bunch of old houses. Now, your parents will love this. They took these old houses and they fixed them up and they turned them into trendy bars and restaurants. Not only that, but they added a bunch of food trucks, and you can walk down this street very safely with your families and enjoy a little bit of drinking or a little bit of eating over here. Speaking of eating, we have gathered some of the finest chefs from around the world, gathered them to create a palette that is just unknown, second to none. And we opened up a new 5-star restaurant in town known as International House of Pancakes. If you want to come over here and enjoy the best of American and international pancakes, that's the place to do it right there. A little commercial for you by International House of Pancakes. Oh, by the way, Denny's, not as good. All right, so we're going to cross over to the dark side. Luke of your father, come over to the dark side. Okay, so the deal is this. We're heading over to East Side. When I first moved here about 12 years ago, people used to say, okay, Santa Bob, don't go to the East Side after 5 o'clock. You'll regret it. All right? I don't know what they meant by that, but I think what they were trying to say is I might have been in a little bit of danger, maybe because of the flashy red suit and, you know, the red, purple stripes Cadillac. I don't know. Maybe that was a deal. But anyway, I did learn that a couple years ago we started a little thing called Gentrification 101. Yeah, what is that? It's the beginning of gentrification. For those of you who are not really into it, gentrification is basically raising the taxes to the point that the people that live there can no longer live there, and then they come in and swoop and take over all the properties, making it, in some places, a better place, and in other places, well, let's just say they get rid of all the old people that used to live there. All right, so we're going to cross over here, and we're going to head over to East Side, where there are many cool restaurants, lots of neat things to do over here. We'll talk about every single one of them, but for right now, let's come on over here and let's learn a little bit about gentrification. I believe that Eddie Murphy talked about it on Saturday Night Live the other day. And as I said, the 101 or the intro course is basically when you raise the taxes to the point that people can't afford to live here, they usually disappear at night or they sell off because they can't pay the mortgage on a lot of these homes when they become too expensive to maintain. There are lots of businesses over here. That little coffee shop we just passed is called Cenote, one of my favorites. In fact, say yes to Cenote if you get a chance. Come on over here. But speaking of coffee shops, the opposite way on this street is a place called Mozart's, and I'll tell you more about that. Lots of good things happening out there tonight. You remember I said that everything going from north to south was named after a river? Well, not so anymore, because you're on east side. We just got a bunch of regular names on this side, nothing special, but we do have food trucks, and we have all kinds of foods on this side. There's a place called Ramen Tatsui that's absolutely amazing. Franklin's Barbecue, the most famous barbecue in this town, is on 11th Street, heading that way. So if you're looking for it, you found it. And by the way, it's too late for you to get Franklin's Barbecue today. They sell out around this time of the day. In fact, you got to get up at about 8 in the morning if you want to get that famous barbecue. A couple houses here. This is the perfect example of what happens. They've been abandoned. I don't know. What do I want for Christmas? You know what I want? I want to have a holly jolly Christmas. So let's get ready to roll in there. Stay seated till we get in.
Watch out. Getting into the water.
Welcome to Town Lake at this point of the I'm going to give you a couple minutes of a break from my voice, and we're going to go ahead and maneuver around. We got some people out here, probably the UT rowing team, doing a little bit of rowing, so we'll give them a little bit of space.
Now, look, you're on the water. Can you see? Yeah, but it's in the water. Yeah, we're in the water. Let's go. These guys are going to turn you into a bus. We're in the water. Let's do a bus.
Who's off with you? You're fine. You want to get in the pictures too?
It is the magic thing going on. Next thing you know, it's going to say this is a plane and we can fly. No, I wish it was in the future, maybe.
All right.
No, that's it, boy. No, it doesn't turn Let's take a picture. Every hour.
Take us out for dinner and drinks afterward. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
She says using my husband's credit card. All right. So here's how we sing happy birthday to Sahil. We're going to sing happy birthday to you, quack, quack, quack. Happy birthday to you, quack, quack, quack. And happy birthday, Sahil, quack, quack, quack. Are you ready? Count of 3, everybody. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Quack, quack, quack. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sahil. Quack, quack, quack. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Sahil. Thank you. Well, we're so glad that you joined us today. And wow, he was almost a Christmas baby. Well, we barely made it out of that one, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's get ready to get back to regular power. We made it. All right. Everybody good? I thought I saw a kid fall out back there. We're good? All right, excellent.